Hey guys, I was on my way to the gym, and I guess I'm still on my way to the gym, but I wanted to stop by for just a moment and share with you a quick video that helps us to be better to ourselves, helps us to be better to each other, helps us to build a better world that benefits good people of all labels. And for just a moment, I want to talk about 5 quick steps to better self love, self care, and more positive self esteem. Is that okay with you? Okay, so let's talk about it so that we can get on with living, loving, and taking care of ourselves so that you can say goodbye to self sabotaging, feeling defeated, and just plain old being tired of being tired. Is that okay with you? Because maybe I'm talking to you right now. Do you ever find yourself overly aggressive because maybe people are getting too close to you and you feel like there's something about you that maybe they'll discover that you don't want exposed? So you get aggressive so that you can remain in this place of hiding. And I want to share with you 5 quick hacks to loving you, to taking care of you, and to being good with who you are, just the way that you are. And I want to begin by helping you to think about some of your inner conversation, your inner dialogue, some of the things that maybe you say to you, about your life, about your decisions, about your worth. Think about it. And I want you to be honest with yourself. And I want you to ask yourself, how much of that dialogue is positive? How much of it is positive? And now I'm not talking to the narcissist, because the narcissist, I don't care what they do, how wrong they are, they'll never see themselves. I'm talking to those of you that are okay with being honest with yourself. And I want you to think about the things that you say to you. Because the things that we say to ourselves are some of the most important words we will ever hear in this earth. They're the words that we hear most of because we're often playing thoughts in our heads. We're often, and those thoughts always are brought to us in our own voice. So we're always hearing our own voice. And most times we hear our voices when we don't hear anything else. They're words that most of us believe when we won't believe anybody else. We'll believe our own thoughts. And when we talk bad about ourselves, what we do is we take a step in the opposite direction of loving ourselves. And so therefore, the first step to loving and taking care of yourself must be you talking good to you about you. Again, think about some of the stuff that you say. I can think of some of the stuff that I've said to me about me, and some of it I wouldn't say to or about my best friend, let alone my parents. Some of it has been belittling. Some of it has been just downright mean. And most of it hadn't been in my best interest. When I think about some of the things that I've said to myself, what are you saying to you about you? Because if it's not uplifting and making you feel better, it's time for you to stop it. And I'm all about accountability because accountability is important to our growth. But destroying the house isn't always necessary. Just because you're remodeling the house or upgrading the house, you don't have to destroy it. Instead of beating you down into the ground, talk about how smart you are, how resilient you are, how beautiful you are, how blessed you are, how dedicated to the process you are, how strong you are, how you're willing to do what needs to be done to get what you desire. How life is working out for you good. Talk about those things, how the journey has made you better. Talk about how loving you are, how caring you are, how delightful you are to be around. Talk about how good you are as a parent, as a friend, as a spouse. See, we talk about, and we can easily talk about all the things that are wrong with us, but how about talking about the things that make you feel good about you? Because if you're not saying those things that make you feel good about you, you're going to eventually begin to feel like crap. You're going to feel like a loser, like you're worthless, like your situation is hopeless. And you'll start feeling like a victim. You'll start carrying yourself around like a victim. And then you'll start noticing everything that didn't materialize the way that you wanted it to materialize. You'll start to remember every mistake that you've ever made. It's just the natural law of momentum. Once you start in one direction, especially if you're going downhill, oh, you're just going to pick up more and more speed. But you can catch yourself. If talking bad and feeling bad has become a habit for you, you can catch yourself. And this leads us to the second thing. You can catch yourself by deciding to be happy. Simple. Some people call it faking it until you make it. Well, I call it that we only have two choices about how we deal with the events of life, how we engage life. We can be happy or we can be sad. We can be optimistic about it or we can be pessimistic. We can see life as happening for us or we can see life as happening to us or against us. So you just have to decide to be grateful and be filled with thanksgiving for the life that we get. Or you can remain complaining about how bad it is, how unfair life is. But when you choose gratitude and thanksgiving, you can, even when you're in the darkness, you're able to see light. That is, if you'll seek it and if you'll focus on it. When you can be optimistic about life, it feeds our spirits and it helps us to be able to close our eyes and still see things that may not be fully manifested yet. Helps us to start seeing opportunity for our good. It helps us to start feeling better about ourselves, talking about how things are getting better, how we're worthy, how we're valuable, how we're significant to others. Again, life is constant choices. But if you're not choosing good, it's not going to work for you. Because when you're not uplifting yourself, you're tearing yourself down, which is why some of us always feel tired, always feel like we're lacking energy, always feel like we're in a mental fog. I've been there. And it just leads to procrastination. And then when you add, low self-esteem to procrastination, it just drains you of all your energy, drains you of all your vitality. Maybe I'm talking to you. Because maybe you've said you need to do something. Maybe you need to exercise. Maybe you need to go walking, go back to school. Maybe you've decided or said on numerous occasions, I just need to read more. You just don't have the energy to do it. Maybe you said to yourself, I need to keep the house cleaner. Maybe I just need to keep my hair and face made up. For some of you, you've allowed the lethargy to get so bad that you don't even feel like cooking anymore. You won't even have sex or intimacy with your spouse. For me, I just jumped right over those stages and I went right to feeling like I no longer wanted to be here. So I get it when you start talking bad and not taking care of yourself. But life and vitality doesn't come back, beloved, unless we make it come back. Gravity and momentum will keep you spiraling downwards. It'll take what little energy you have, unless you say to yourself, enough is enough, and begin exercising. Yes, that's the third hack to practicing greater health, greater self-love, greater care. It's exercising regularly. It's the hack to better self-esteem. Think about it. How many of you, when you look at yourself in the mirror and you feel like you're looking good, that it makes you feel good? It makes you hold your head up higher, straighten your shoulders up, stick your chest out. Makes you smile when you look at yourself and feel like, man, I look good. Man, I feel good. It gives you an energy and a motivation to want to keep moving, to want to get moving. See, we gotta realize that life is always working together either for our good or for our bad, based upon our perspectives, our perceptions. And so we just have to choose to make it work for our good. Not telling ourselves the lame and the tired excuses that, well, this is just who I am. My metabolism has slowed down. Everybody in my family is overweight and out of shape. Stop making everybody else's reality yours. Everybody else's life isn't your life. Your life is your life to live. It was meant for you to live it, loving you, taking care of you, and feeling good about you. Because when you don't, you stop giving 110%. You stop even giving 100%. And you just kind of start going through the motion. Just kind of start showing up just because you're obligated to show up. Am I talking to you? You don't show up to win anymore. You just show up just to do enough not to get fired. Just enough not to lose it all. Just enough so that she won't leave you. Just enough so that he won't start going out looking around and playing in places he's not supposed to play in. But that's no way to live. Certainly not a happy way to live. It's not healthy either. Because it's not a life filled with energy and life and vitality. And so our jobs, the fourth thing that we can do to better take care of ourselves and love ourselves and feel better about ourselves is to give 110% of ourselves for ourselves. See, because everything that we're connected to, everything that we will build in this life begins with us, the person. We're the common denominator in everything that we do and are attached to. And so maybe you've allowed yourself to stop giving everything that you have. Maybe you don't give 110% anymore. Maybe you say to yourself that life has taken it out of you, that he's taken it out of you, that she's taken it out of you, that the kids have just beat it out of you, that your boss have just sucked it all out of you, that you have no more to give. I get it. And the truth may be that you no longer have anything else to give in that situation. That's just the reality sometimes. But for most of us, the problem comes into the equation is when we are refusing to get out of the situations. We have nothing else to give, but instead of getting out of it, we stay committed to the situation, just guaranteeing us misery and suffering. See, because if you're not going to give your all, you're not going to get the kind of outcomes that are going to make you feel good. Yes, you're going to struggle. You're going to be frustrated. You're going to constantly be dealing with the thoughts of regret, feeling angst. This is going to be your life. And maybe you're like, okay, you're preaching to the choir. I hear you because that is my life. Some of you have just resigned yourself to a life of unfulfillment. You're not laughing anymore. You're not feeling successful. You're not feeling satisfied anymore. But you don't have to do that to yourself. You don't have to live that kind of life. Fifth thing that you can do to live and to love yourself, to take care of yourself, to think good about yourself, is to keep living and to keep learning. Keep growing better. Keep growing stronger. Keep growing your skill set toolbox. Keep adding things to the toolbox. Keep growing in discovering new approaches to dealing with old problems. Growing in your communication. Growing in your conflict resolution. Growing in being better able to close your eyes yet see beauty all around you. Keep growing in faith. Keep growing in your love for you. Your care of you. And your good thoughts about you. See, you're born to live, not just to survive, not just to exist. No, you're born to thrive. I want you to hear me. You're born to thrive. You're born to laugh. You're born to love. This is why God created you. He created you so that you would have something to give, so that you would know how to receive that which others want to pour into you, so that you would get to experience all the good that this world has to offer us. We just have to make the choice to live. And I often say that with the right information, the right directions, we can go almost anywhere. It's very little that we can't do with the right information and the right direction. So I say to you, get the knowledge, get the coaching, get the system that helps you to be the best version of you. And I offer that to you. It's what I was sent here to do. And lastly, before I leave, I do ask that you would like this video. Share it on your social media accounts. Share it with your friends and your family. Subscribe to my channel and leave a comment. And I guarantee you I'll respond to it. And with that, yours truly, I'm Carlos, the spiritual teacher and personal development coach. And until next time, I bid you love, peace, and many, many, many good blessings.